Rise and shine, it's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled. From morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. It is the 6th of September. Thank you, Wolfram, for doing the mod things. I so appreciate it. Good morning, Fundian. And Fundian has a good point. Put the cell phones down when you're driving. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to podcasts later. Absolutely. There are actual consequences, and I am so sorry, Fundian. I wish I had all just fun news, but hopefully it can take your mind off of things. Good morning, Celestial Force, Alice G, Nanny Goat, Audio Coffee, and Christine, good morning. And to everyone who's lurking out there, good morning to you guys too. I was always reluctant to join a chat, but this is a great chat. So if you ever want to dip your toe in, this is probably the best chat to do that. And welcome, Christine. So our first story is sort of an update. It looks like the father of the alleged Georgia shooter, Colt Gray, has been arrested. So it is really, really odd. From what I've seen, this young child, the alleged shooter, had a just absolutely horrendous childhood. Good morning, Speedy Gonzalez and Greedy Bloke. Not that that's an excuse or anything else like that, but I can only imagine if he was showing this many warning signs, where the hell was CPS? Were they busy, yelling at parents who didn't want ridiculous books in their kids' library? Were they too busy, keeping a database of who bought Bibles this year, or maybe, investigating tenant media? And look, if there is actual factual Russian, infiltration of media, then fine, great. Take care of that. But this is like the gajillionth time the FBI is like, well, we had known about him, but we were like, nah, it'll be fine. So I'm getting a little bit tired of the answer is more government control, but the organizations already in place with the legal authority to investigate these things are like, we need more power. No, I don't trust you, government. Police have released the mugshot for the Georgia gunman. I didn't have the right. That's why it doesn't look the same. I'm like, why is this article showing pictures I don't have on my other article? Because I'm a dingus. The father of the alleged teen gunman who killed 4 people in a mass shooting at Appalachia High School in northern Georgia has been arrested, law enforcement officials announced Thursday night. Colin Gray, 54, was charged with 4 counts of manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. It is a day. It is not Florida. It is daggone Georgia. Mo, read the words on the thing. Bureau of Investigation said the day after his 14-year-old son, Colt Gray, was charged with murder. The charges come after it was revealed that Colin Gray purchased the AR-style rifle Colt allegedly used in the massacre as a Christmas gift last December, sources told the Post. This man is going to get the crumbly treatment. These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon. GBI Director Chris Hosey told reporters at a press conference without providing any additional details. Colt received the deadly present from his father just 7 months after authorities visited the pair when the FBI received tips about online school shooting threats, according to a federal agency. The disturbing online post reviewed by law enforcement included photos of guns. Now, Colin Gray told police that at the time he had hunting weapons in the home, but said that Colt did not have any unsupervised access to them, according to the authorities. Yeah, but this is in fine work. This does, in fact, I think, show gross negligence. If your son has been, look, can I tell y'all I would still be in, a vegetative state had the FBI had to come to my house? Like, listen, Mo's mama did not practice gentle parenting, okay? I would still be in the ICU if the FBI had convicted or had come over alleging that I was doing shenanigans on the internet. Now, we all know that would have been a basic lie because I can barely work the internet now, and I was even worse as a kid. But, yes, this constitutes poor, reckless decision making. And I'm pro Second Amendment. I think that if you have responsible children, responsible people who understand safety, then this could be an activity. Going to the range, doing that thing could be a bonding opportunity. What you do not do as a parent is son exhibiting red flag behavior. Let me see. What should I get him? A Nintendo Switch or a force multiplier? Y'all, I don't get parenting. I don't get this parenting choice. Now, the teen also denied making those threats. Colt Gray allegedly, he did what he did, allegedly. He has to be adjudicated guilty, but we lost 4 incredible people. 9 other students were injured. So absolutely, this, I believe, does rise to a level of careless disregard to the safety of others. But I am not a lawyer. I am not a lawologist. So this is just my opinion. Now, obviously, all of this will have to go through the court system. This will all have to be, parsed out by lawyers and people that are smarter. Celestial Forest, Mo, in parents' defense, there are some children out there that say parents' stuff is there. My son used to do that. That is true. Or theirs. Yeah, I get that. And I guess this comes from my personal stance that as a parent and as a person who supports the Second Amendment, I had to really figure out, okay, how do we safely store these things? How do we safely keep and teach, all of our children how to respect these things because they're not toys. In fact, every other day, because of what I do in the news and all these things, I will just randomly ask my boys, well, my big one, I misspoke. I used the wrong turn of phrase. My big issue is why wasn't this purchase flagged? Although that does bring up privacy information and privacy arguments. So that's the problem that we're dealing with. We want our pound of flesh. We want to make these things stop. So we want people to pay. And we are expanding that sphere of who we would like to make pay, instead of asking hard, difficult questions that we may have to sit down and actually look at constitutionally. We may have to figure out a compromise. We may have to figure out, how to make these things better. But instead, we go to buzzwords, we go to thoughts and prayers, we go to, gun control is the only way. We want slogans, not answers. And I'm getting tired of it because answers mean that you have to get messy and you have to absolutely, you know, deal with some uncomfortable facts. You have to take some of that and realize that our society is broken right now. And we're going to have to make some uncomfortable, realizations. We're going to have to be able to talk truths. We're going to have to be able to hurt some feelings in order to fix these things. And right now, it seems like regardless of what anyone does, we have to sloganeer and, oh, I don't know, not come up with any answers. And I'm getting a little tired of it. True. Now, I have, petitioned Elon Musk to send every loud person on both extremes to either Mars or Mercury. He has not gotten back to me yet, but I think he probably has a lot of people that are trying to talk to him. So that is that news. Uh, Honestly, it's just, well, yeah, audio coffee. My dad showed me how to do stuff safely, everything from cooking power tools to reel tape recorders and everything in between. It's funny that you guys say this. It's a Friday. We are tangenting. So as I am driving to the boys to school, I like to listen to like the current news podcasts or things about Caitlin Clark. Y'all, let me tell you the weirdest thing I have decided to fall down the rabbit hole. A person who understands nothing about any sports. And yet here I am watching basketball reels like it is my job. Like I know what's going on, which I don't. I'm like, she's playing horse really well. It's my latent Indiana genes that are like, you have been here long enough. You must like basketball. Here is Caitlin Clark. Just drink the Kool-Aid. Anywho, I was listening to something about Tiffany Henyard from Nate the Lawyer, and my youngest son was like, this chick sounds super sus. Like she is all the sus. How is she not in the jails? I mean, where is the police officer to lock her up? And I'm like, settle down, Rush Limbaugh back there. She can't get, arrested until they figure out a crime. And he's like, she sounds sus. This all sounds sus. Arrested her. If I were a police officer, I would arrest her. She sounds really sus. And I'm just like, then, but on a same and related tangent, I also like police body cam videos. So I was listening to one of them because if you've ever been in the school pickup line of death and boredom as an ADHD adult, look, I have to listen to police. I have to listen to people wilding out. It is the only way I'm going to sit 45 minutes. Thank you so much, Indigo Luna. Yeah, I spent more money than I thought I was going to spend, but I had it professionally done, and I really, really like it, but it was a long appointment. So thank you. So I was listening to police, body cam videos, and I forgot to turn it over as the boys are coming in because you guys, my new to me car has actual sync, so I can like listen on the radio. The little things that make Mo excited. But it, when you're a mom and you have a car that's fully paid off, you don't really care that it doesn't sync. So my new to me car has sync, and my boys are like, why don't they just listen to the police and officers? They told them to be quiet. They don't follow the rules well, do they? And I said, yes, this is why mom, and this is why myself and your father don't let you talk back. Don't let you break the rules because eventually when you're an adult, you have to deal with police officers and they will be not so kind to you when you do those things. And they're like, well, that seems pretty smart. Are these people adults? That's what my youngest was saying. He's like, is this an adult? And I was like, sadly, they are. Oh, Celestial Force, I have given up on parallel parking. It's just like learning trigonometry. I have never used it in my adult life, and if forced to parallel park, I will simply park farther. Oh, the joys of parenting. In some better news, a Sumatran tiger baby cub was born in a San Diego zoo. Oh my gosh, can I just pet it? Probably not, because the mom would, you know, go all honey badger slash tiger on me. The San Diego Wildlife Alliance announced the birth of a baby Sumatran tiger cub in San Diego Zoo Safari Park. The alliance said the first time mother Jillian gave birth to a cub August 23rd in the park's Tull Tiger or Family Tiger Trail habitat. Care specialists said that Jillian quickly bonded with the newborn and has been displaying all of the expected maternal behaviors. We are thrilled at the birth of this very special tiger cub at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, said Liz Peterson, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. This birth adds Jillian's incredibly important genes to the pool of the population, furthering the genetic diversity and health of the Sumatran tiger species. Now, Sumatran tigers are considered to be critically endangered, with only 400 to 600 of the cats being believed to being alive in the world. Now, officials said that the mother and cub will remain in their den for the next few weeks while specialists continue to monitor the duo and their milestones. So that is good, and it has nothing related to Tiger King. Though I do feel like we need an update. Look, I need to know where Carol Baskin is for my personal safety, because if I ever want to move to the Florida Keys, I just need to know. Alice G, they did not say if it was a boy or a girl. It just said cub, and they might not be going into the den. My guess is they would have to sedate the mother in order to check on the baby, and they might not want to do that because I know vaguely, I think I remember that large cats are very hard to stabilize under anesthesia or sedation. They can get a little wonky. So they might be giving the mom, unless there's an issue that they see, they might be giving the mom some of that bonding time. But I am not a zoologist or even a cryptozoologist. So take all that with a grain of salt. Uh, well, Carnival cruise people, it devolved into mayhem and a possible mutiny as angry passengers demanded refunds over a last-second itinerary change. Oh, heck no. If I have finally got on a cruise and those things are ridiculously expensive and they're like, "No, we're not going to be going to all of the Alaska places that you want to go to," I think I might cry a little too. Mayhem broke out on a Carnival cruise when enraged vacationers were told they wouldn't be voyaging to the expected Caribbean getaway because of an engine problem, while they shouted for their money back and pleaded to get off the ship. Okay, well, you're on a boat. You are not getting anywhere. Oh, Fundian knows the answers because thank you, Fundian. I was like, I think that's right, but I have no idea. Now, guests aboard Carnival's Vista had booked an 8-night Southern Caribbean cruise out of Port Canaveral, Florida on August 10th, intending to stop in Aruba and Turks and Caicos and other places. Now, as the boarding process was ongoing and some passengers were already on board, the cruise line sent a notification detailing the change in plan. Okay, so they weren't just like in the open ocean. Okay, because I was like, or you could swim out, I guess. Carnival cruise members had discovered a technical issue affecting the ship's cruising speed, which forced the cruise line to alter the itinerary, the cruise line told the Post. The Vista would instead travel to the Bahamas, making stops at Nassau, Princess Cays, Freeport, and Half Moon Cay, according to Inside Edition. Some passengers were not thrilled with the last minute change and began chanting for refunds as the cruise staff attempted to explain the situation. "Give us our money," several guests aboard the ship shouted, according to an Instagram user only in Florida on August 28th. One man claimed he had spent $6,000 just to get on the cruise. Quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, the way you're going about this with all the noise and chaos isn't going to solve any issues." No, I have it unreliable information from Sarah Boone that the more you Karen out, the better your outcomes will be. Now, this doesn't prove real in real life, but she does believe this. Yeah, look, my general rule is to never show my ass to, the on the floor employees. It is all the stupidity. Now, if you are rude to me, I will match your energy. That's just how it is. I don't have time for an 18-year-old to roll their eyes at me while they're working at Target when I'm asking them a question. I don't have time for that. Now, do I have the energy or the deal with drama to call her manager? No, I will simply go find it somewhere else. But having worked retail, having worked in forward-facing jobs, I never take my irritation out on the person that's calling me. I always say, "May I speak to someone in corporate? I have no issues with you, but I feel like this policy is wrong," or something like that. But in what world does yelling at, Keith, the cabin boy, gonna get you a refund? Get your heads firmly out of your behinds, people. Acting like toddlers does not help. And these people don't deserve to be shouted at. Again, these are from corporate. These are policies. I that is my number one biggest pet peeves is people that talk down to wait staff, that talk down to retail workers, that talk down to anyone they think is beneath them. I'm like, you are not better than anyone. Stop. That is my big now, if I see a butthole, I will avenge people. I mean, I have gone to managers because I've seen other customers acting a fool and said, "You need to get someone over there to back up your employee. This is ridiculous." I have done that, but just no, you do not behave like this. That's not what is going to happen. Now, an 8-day cruise aboard the Vista averages to $779 per person. Now, I don't know if that is per day or if that is the whole cruise, because that seems alarmingly low. Passengers were given several choices once the cruise line determined the need for the itinerary changes. We communicated directly with guests on board regarding their options before sailing. Carnival said those that sail were given an onboard credit as well as a future cruise credit toward another cruise to make up for the unexpected change. Those who preferred not to sail were offered a 100% refund. Even with the choice of not cruising to the Bahamas, passengers were still frustrated with Carnival for the last-minute announcement. "They knew about the problem prior to us getting onto the ship," Ashley Ball told the outlet. And thank you, Wolfram, for gifting 5 memberships. And those went to Crystal, Indigo Luna, Nunya Bitness, Mad Mom, and Jadzia 1969. So let me get those written down. Oh, for the swear I tested this pen. I have new pens coming in because they're a business necessity. And if asked, you all said it was okay. So if Mr. Mo asks you for any reason why I'm getting new pens, it's a business expense. Oh, I'm such a butt. So, also, in Mo is not the best wife ever mode, this morning, I decided to, usually I have been a bit of a nag about trash day, so I've been trying to not be such a nag, and I didn't, fully remind Mr. Mo last night like I normally do that, today is trash day because I'm trying to not nag as much, uh, and be, more supportive, less naggy, and appreciate the things that he does. He not only called me, he FaceTimed me and he's like, "Why didn't you remind me about trash day?" And I said, "I was trying to be a less naggy wife." And he's like, "We'll never do that again." How can you assume I know that today is Friday? I was like, "Because yesterday was Thursday?" And he's like, "Are you being a smartass right now?" I was like, "No, I just assumed you were aware it was also Thursday yesterday." Thank you for that, guys. I swear, half of our arguments go like this, verbatim. "Why didn't you tell me something?" This is Mr. Mo. "Well, I didn't want to assume that you didn't know what you were doing, so I was quiet. I saw you making different choices than you normally make, but I thought, you know what you're doing." Mr. Mo, "Why would you ever expect I know what I'm doing? Why don't you just tell me things?" Again, you seemed like you were confident in your choices, and I was trying not to be a nag. "Well, never assume I know what I'm doing." Um, Dingus, not the. If it's not the husband or the children, it's the cat. Really? Are we having a moment? So, yeah, that's definitely how 90% of our. Yes, I understand that communication is great, but these are small things like when he's taking a different route to Aldi's or something, and I'm expecting that he knows what he's doing. I'm like, I just was assuming you knew what you were doing. I wasn't paying attention or I was scrolling through Facebook. I didn't know I was going to be the navigator. And have we talked about my navigation skills? So those are literally all of our, small petty arguments. Because then I usually end up saying, "I will never assume you know anything about what you are doing." And he's like, "Are you being a smartass?" And I'm like, "Again, you married me. This is a trick question. I sense entrapment." Well, he doesn't. This year, I have tried to make it my goal. I guess it couldn't be considered nagging, but I've definitely wanted to be, more supportive and more appreciative of the things that he does and everyone does for me versus, focusing on, "Hey, you didn't do this right," or "Why do I have to ask?" So I've been trying to be more positive in how I approach things since I know that this, mom not being able to do everything is a big change in family dynamics. And I'm trying to be a lot more positive and at least, appreciative and praise when people do things for me, which is something I maybe haven't done the greatest at before. So here's my philosophy. I am not a life guru. I am not a life coach or even a licensed therapist, anywhere. But in my personal experience the last few years, if I've been upset or unhappy about things in my life, if I do positive things to change how I'm behaving, uh, then it really does, I think, help affect how other people respond to it. So I work on myself first if I'm upset with others. I don't know. That's just my advice. That's what seems to have been working for me. But like I said, I'm a twice college dropout. So that's all I've learned for myself. A couple, um, Lord Chippy operators, we are going to need him on double speed for this or double slow speed, allegedly in Minecraft, Raja Mahand, leader of Google. We need a double, Lord Chippy. I didn't just click that twice on accident. A couple who ran a nutrition business were arrested for animal cruelty and child or CA over a filthy home, trash that rose from the floor to nearly the ceiling. Okay, now I have a question for chat, and I'm gonna let's see. I am not super duper petty, but I'm gonna need y'all to look at these mugshots. Who the hell is buying nutritional supplements from, you know, Jack and Jill fell down a hill to fetch a pail of water? I mean, who is looking at these hill chucks and saying, "You guys understand nutrition. You guys are who I would go to for my nutritional supplements." Who? A husband and wife who ran a nutrition store in southeast Nebraska are arrested for the filthy conditions of their own home, according to police in the Cornhusker state. The squalor was allegedly so extreme that the couple's children lived among dead animals. What? Oh my God, Jedi Jess. Are these are the people that, oh God, remember that Metabolife has now rebranded itself into a nutrition smoothie shop? I see these all around. These people must have been the new Metabolife dealers, allegedly in Minecraft, because I don't see them being on keto or anything. Look, as a fellow fluffy to another fellow fluffies, if I ran a gym, I probably would be bad advertising, okay? So I'm just saying, y'all have a nutrition store? Now, David Reynolds and Amanda Reynolds, both 42. That is a rough 42 for that dude. I was gonna say 60. Are accused of 4 counts of animal cruelty, causing injury or death, and 3 counts of child badness without injury, according to Cass County law enforcement. The allegations are said to concern 3 children and 4 rabbits. On July 26, Plattsmouth police acted on information from the state's child welfare agency that children had to eat in their bathroom because it was the only clean place in their house. According to court documents obtained by Omaha-based NBC affiliate WOWT, the first responding officer quickly assessed the unsanitary situation at the Reynolds residence, citing widespread presence of animal droppings inside and some 40 chickens on the property, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by Lincoln-based CBS affiliate KOLN. And in what police believe was an inauspicious start to the visit, the husband was allegedly found outside sleeping in his car. Authorities surmised he was trying to avoid the conditions inside the house. The defendant said he was just, quote unquote, waiting there. When asked where their children were, David Reynolds allegedly said he assumed they were sleeping inside. He also confirmed that his wife was at work. He then led police on a grand tour. Inside, officers immediately took stock of, quote, an odor of large amounts of animal droppings and pee. The affidavit reported, Ali says, zeroing in on details of the olfactory onslaught, the officer reported seeing just, look, imagine hoarders and then imagine, worse. Now, oh no, y'all, I am not what anyone would consider the greatest housekeeper, even when I was fully firing on all cylinders. I will tell you there is nothing that I despise more than trying to scrub baseboards. I will try to hit it with a string mop, but I am not getting down on my hands and knees to scrub baseboards. That is just not a thing. So my house has always been what we like to say sanitary, and ordered. Look, I cheat. Okay, let me give you Mo's guide to parenting and cheating at adultness, since we're on a tangent. I specifically have like guest areas. I I am lucky enough that our house is kind of a tri-level, so our mid-level, except for my room and miscellaneous construction rooms, are like, our showroom area where we pretend that we're fully functional adults that know how to clean up after ourselves. Everywhere else, I can shut the door and hide stuff. So I am good at making things look like I attempt to know how adulting works. Well, Squab Bob, that is something I am working on. I may be a little bit type A, so I've had a really hard time letting people help me because look, I love my chaotic, neutral, goodish children, but when my sons put away the pots and pans, I think they stayed all in the kitchen. They all stayed in the kitchen, but I was looking for my pots and pans because there was not a coherent thought put into where we were just gonna put things other than, like, mom told us to empty the dishwasher, and we are doing the thing she said. So, I am trying to be more open to thanking people for what they do and then asking, "Hey, instead of, uh, putting all of the pots everywhere, I have this cabinet where the pots have all lived for, since we moved into this house. So if we could just get the pots and pans to live here, you know? It it's that's my more thing about not nagging is I noticed when I would hear myself think or say things, I was like, gosh, you could have been a little bit positive or appreciative. So that's something within myself I'm working on. But like I said, nice mommy praises like, 5 times, but Samuel L. Jackson mommy still comes out when nice mommy, irritated mommy, infuriated mommy have asked, at least 170,000 times for someone to pick up with something. Then Samuel L. Jackson's from No Snake or Snakes on an Airplane comes out, and well, she can't be held responsible for whatever happens. Um, you know, I know people have snakes, but I don't know that I'd ever get a python. They're just not my jam, but I will praise. So, a 13-foot Burmese python relocated to a New York zoo after the owner admitted it was getting too big to handle. Roland Arthur, yes, actually, I have. Now, I will say, and this is going to sound very, very odd. Oh, yes, Mr. Mo believes he has a laundry fairy. In fact, some of the biggest irritations in Samuel L. Jackson moments have happened because if we need the whiteboard of truth. Aha. Mr. Mo's going on blast this morning. But let me explain to you how every woman snapped episode starts just for a public service announcement. Husbands, significant others out there, if your woman is mad at you, let me explain how her day started. It started with her just wanting to take a shower. And here's the laundry basket. And right here is just a pile of towels right there, not even in the damn laundry basket. So her day starts out with, I would just like to get a shower, seem a little human, that kind of thing. So then she goes out to the laundry area and she realizes, oh, there is in fact no towels out there, none whatsoever. So she's like, okay, I'll clean myself with a dirty towel. I will do that. Then she goes out to the kitchen to make herself a glass of pop, since I'm not a coffee drinker. And what are there? There are no glasses, but in the sink, there is an entire flippin' Jenga party of dirty dishes. There's an entire Jenga party of dirty dishes hanging out in that sink. And she's like, you know what? Okay, all right. I will just drink pop out of the bottle. I usually like to have ice in it, but that's okay. And then the final indignity. This is when you end up on the 7 p.m. news, men, I am just telling you. She goes to the only room where she still cannot have privacy in her house because her cats and or dog and or children cannot be without visual sight of said mom slash, caregiver. And the toilet roll is empty, but left there as a monument to things she's supposed to be doing. And then you wonder why women are the Jenga trash can thing, because it's if it's full, you have to take it out. The Jenga trash can thing, nothing will irritate me further than the Jenga trash can thing. So I have talked to Mr. Mo. I'm like, I do have meaning in my life. I appreciate that you're trying to give my life meaning by, giving me laundry on the floor. But I have purpose within my life. So, unless you want to get one of them sister wives and I have seniority, so she's doing all the laundry, I'm going to need you to get in there and pick that up, because there's not a jury of women in the damn world that isn't going to give me an award. Okay. Actual things that have come out of my mouth within an argument. And look, I know I do things that irritate him just as much. I am in no way a perfect wife. In fact, related, see this story. There are many ways that a good Christian, supportive wife would say things without being a smartass. He tries to have financial talks with me, and I'm like, can you just tell me what I can spend and what I can creatively account for Sailor Moon stuff? And I just won't mess that up. But do we have to have financial talks? I don't want to look at an SL or an XL sheet. It hurts my soul. So I get that there are things that just irritate the ever living snot out of Mr. Mo that I do. I mean, I think there might be one and a half things. I'm pretty awesome. Other than oh my goodness. This has been a full tangent morning. Oh, where is it? So I did, on a serious note, want to cover this. And look, my very special and very important message is this is about two Nigerian brothers who were sentenced for sextortion that led to a teen's death. Listen, teens, I know I don't skew to the teen demographic, but if you know a teen, look, I understand that if you are part of one of these things, you think that your life is over. It is not. Sweethearts, kiddos out there, it is not. Do not make a permanent choice based on some stupid Nigerian brothers who sextorted you. Don't take yourself away from your family. Don't take yourself away from your future. You have one. You absolutely do. And if it gets to this point and you need to, talk to someone, reach out to me on X. I barely remember how to use it most days, but if you need someone to talk to, there is a light at the end of this tunnel you're in. Please, please, please do not make a permanent choice based on, something like this. You were tricked, you were used. It is not your fault. Don't take that guilt on yourself. Let your family help you. Let your, let people in. It is not shameful. You got tricked, you got duped. Please don't make that choice. There is so much more to live for. You are going to look back in 5 years, in 4 years, and high school is not going to matter. You will barely run into these people ever again. Don't give them that power, please. I feel terrible for the family in this, and it's just awful. Two brothers from Nigeria were sentenced to 17 and a half years in federal prison Thursday after pleading guilty to sexually extorting teenage boys and young men from across the U.S., including a 17-year-old from Michigan who took his own life. A federal judge sentenced Samuel Ogashi, 24, and Samson Ogashi. The irony that they have biblical names, ugh, 21, after an emotional testimony and hearing from his parents and stepmother of Jordan DeMay, who was 17 when he took himself from this world at his family's home in Marquette in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The Ogashis, both from Lagos, Nigeria, have previously been extradited from Nigeria to stand trial. The brothers each pled guilty in April to conspiring to exploit teenage boys. They were accused of running an international sextortion ring in which they posed as women, a scheme that resulted in DeMay's March 2022 self-leaving the world. The siblings were accused of inducing DeMay to send a naked picture of himself and then started extorting him. Federal prosecutors said that their schemes targeted more than 100 victims, including DeMay. Quote, today's sentencing of Samuel and Samson Ogashi sends a thundering message, U.S. Attorney Mark Totten said in a statement. To criminals who commit these schemes, you are not immune from justice. We will track you down and hold you accountable, even if you have to go halfway around the world to do so. Sexual extortion or sextortion involves persuading a person to send explicit photos online and then threatening to make public images unless the victim pays or engages in favors to them. Now, the offense has a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison and a maximum sentence of 30 years. And why they didn't get the max, I don't know. Now, U.S. District Judge Robert J. Jonker also sentenced the Ogashis to 5 years of supervision following their release. He said he would decide what restitution the brothers must make once he's received additional information. Before the sentencing, Jonker said that the case called for long sentences. He said both defendants had shown callous disregard for life, while noting that the siblings had continued their scams even after learning that DeMay had taken his own life. The continuation of the overall scheme, even after there was certain knowledge that one individual, the individual in this case, took his own life, points to the need for a high sentence. Maximum? And welcome, Lego Law, Life, and Libations. And you know what, you guys? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They want to go on about how, they're giving a rough sentence. They gave 2 more than the least that they had to. Now, DeMay's mother, Jennifer Bruta, told the court during Samuel Ogashi's sentencing that her son's death had left her shattered to the core, infuriated, and trapped in grief. She said the last text her son sent was, "Mother, I love you," a text she awoke to and thought was endearing until she learned that Jordan was no longer alive. What I thought was an endearing message from Jordan was his goodbye and his reassurance of his love for me, Buddha said. I would never have imagined that while I was asleep, both the defendants hid behind their screens and tortured Jordan for hours while he was alone. DeMay's stepmother, Jessica DeMay, said during tearful testimony that she and Jordan's other relatives will never again experience pure joy because every happy moment would be tainted by a small cloud of sadness around it that comes from Jordan's death. The teen's father, John DeMay, told the court he is haunted by the image of his son as after he passed away. Samuel Ogashi's attorney, Sean Tilton, said his client had cooperated with authorities and has written a letter of apology. Oh, well, he said sorry. Isn't that great? I feel so much better. I'm sure that makes everything all erased. He said Samuel Ogashi is remorseful and feels tremendous sense of guilt over the loss of life in this case. Sampson Ogashi's attorney, Julia Kelly, said during this sentence that her client is also very remorseful and that he was 18 when he began taking part in the extortion and scam attempts. She said that such scams are common in Lagos, Nigeria, and he saw those as a quick way to make money. Kelly wrote in a court filing that hundreds of people like him were involved in similar scamming. Next time I get pulled over, I'm going to use the everyone else was speeding defense. And if that doesn't work, I'll have to resort to my rack. But I do have a new strategy now. Ma'am, what? You're a lawyer. You should know that, yeah, everyone else was felonying too is not a defense. I mean, allegedly, I don't think. Could be. So again, I make a serious plea. If you are a teen, if you are dealing with this, find a safe person. You are not alone. Look, these guys targeted 100 people. And, as a person that, well, God gave me boobs for a reason. And since they're no longer there for, nurturing children, they are there to get out of tickets, allegedly in Minecraft. Oh no, I should tell you guys the story of when I got pulled over last. Now, legitimately, I did not think that the officer was trying to ticket me. Legitimately. I had just gotten done with taking all 3 of my girls to the Greenwood Park Mall. Now, this mall is a collection of, it was basically just me saying, why am I paying full price for a crop top? I basically turned into Steve Martin from Father of the Bride. I am not paying for buns that I'm not going to be using. Screw you guys, I'm going home. So my peopling level was right here at a Danny Glover Lethal Weapon for, why the hell is Chris Rock in my movie kind of level of doneness. And I was driving home just trying to escape and go back to my little room because, like Jamie, I am an inside cat kind of person. And I didn't realize that the cops' lights were for me because I'm in a Ford, like, okay, I call it a Ford Fuck It, but it's a Ford Fusion. It goes from 0 to 60 in 4.5 minutes. Okay, I think it has a hairdryer motor in it. I'm like, y'all, I am trying to go fast. And my pedal is to the metal. I will get to 60 miles per hour in about 6.5 minutes. Don't worry. But so I am in an intersection. He has his full lights on and he's like, is there a reason you didn't pull over? And I looked at him and being myself, I was like, I didn't think you were looking for me. Honest to God, this is the first time I've been pulled over as an adult. And I said, I am very sorry. Here is all, I had my hands at 10 and 2. I had all of my stuff out. I am embarrassed as hell because, and he's like, well, why were you going 40 in a 35? And I said, officer, your officerness, I am not going to lie to you. I was stuck in the mall for 4 hours wondering why I was paying full price for a crop tops and stuck in stores with really loud music and a lot of perfumes. And these assassin perfume ladies were trying to get me in Von Mar. And I was just trying to go home to my safe house. And I am very sure that he was just like, this is, a commitment case I don't want to have to do the paperwork for. So he's like, I'm going to give you a warning because you don't have any other tickets, but slow down. And he's like, I kind of understand you with the mall thing. So I had to go home and tell Mr. Mo. I was like, okay, so remember how I've always kind of lorded over you that I don't have any tickets? So I sort of kind of got a warning and may have been, evading a police officer. But in my defense, I had overpeopled. In my defense, there were a whole lot of people around and I just didn't know what to do with that. And he was very polite and very kind. And, I can see why he wants everyone to be safe and follow the speed limit. But it was just like, Probably, probably. You know those people that, I am one that's like, don't talk to the cops, but I turn into that oversharing person because I was like, "Your officerness, you do not understand. I had to be in the mall. Have you ever been in Sephora? Have you ever been in Sephora? It's loud, it's peoply, you don't know if people keep trying to spray stuff on you. You know, I people want me to buy a full price shirt and it's a crop top. I just wanna go home." And there you go. My only foray into criminalness was just trying to get home after being assaulted with, I don't know, uh, oh gosh, Chanel number 5. And can we talk about the perfume assassins? Can we talk about them? Because could you ask people before you spray a cloud of old lady smell and death in people's face? I would just like to I feel like we need a class action lawsuit, any of my lawyers on LawTube. I feel like, they shouldn't be allowed to spray this horrible smelling stuff. Also, I believe that, well, Bath and Body Works should come with a guardian ad litem, for me at least, because they're like, "No, if you buy 7 products, it's only $700." And, I try to go home to Mr. Mo. I try I try to tell him, "No, honey, you don't understand. I got this as a bundle, and it was only $107. Uh, but it came with a free bag." And he's like, "That's not how math works." And I'm like, "How dare you, sir? It is free." And I only had to pay $50 to buy it after I bought a certain level of stuff. And I was like, "Crap, I'm in a Ponzi scheme, aren't I?" So, yes, I'm fighting for justice and a guardian ad litem at any candle store because I cannot be trusted, or Sailor Moon store, but they don't have one yet. Mama Source, I'm glad you feel my pain. And I believe that I would pardon you too if you were trying to escape the mall. On that note, I will see you guys in about an hour. I am going to do some light mopping and chores around the house because the sink is full of dishes. I really don't know when our dishwasher is supposed to get here. I mean, the person who washes the dishes other than me, not the machine, we have one. But I need to make sure that our house doesn't look like hoarders. So I will be back in an hour and we will be doing day 2 of the crouching judge flying defendant case. Now, I did kind of look into it and it looks like there was a plea deal, or a plea put in, so we might get through the whole case. I'm telling you, there needs to be a class action lawsuit. This needs to be stopped because apparently that is not considered a threat, and if you would, hypothetically mace them back, it is still assault. So don't do that. It's a joke. Have fun, and I will see you guys in just a little bit. Bye, guys.